Today in this video, I am mainly focused to discuss adaptive mesh control using SolidWorks. First of all, let's see what is meant by the adaptive mesh controlling. In finite element analysis, the accuracy and the reliability of the simulation result is mainly depend on the mesh quality. Adaptive meshing in SolidWorks is a tool that automatically improves quality of the mesh during the simulation. In SolidWorks, there are two types of adaptive mesh controlling methods called H adaptive mesh controlling and the P adaptive mesh controlling. H adaptive mesh controlling physically adjusts the size of the mesh in areas of the model where a smaller mesh is needed, while a P adaptive meshing adjusts the polynomial order of the mesh to improve the accuracy. In this video, we are mainly focused on H adaptive mesh controlling. I am going to explain it using this example. Example about H adaptive mesh controlling in SolidWorks. A following structural component shown in the figure is manufactured from alloy steel. The component is subject to a vertical load of 1000 Newton. Using the SolidWorks finite element software, determine the maximum von Mises stress developed in the component. Here, this object is fixed from this end, from this side. Then the load is focused to this area. Okay, when modeling this area, we have to separate the highlight. Okay, first of all, let's create the model. Okay, here I'm going to select the front plane, go to sketch. I'm selecting the center rectangle. The height is equal 200, sorry, 200 millimeters. Then this one is equal to 100 millimeter. Features extrude. The thickness of the plate is equal 50 millimeter. Click OK. Then select this face, go to sketch again. This time also I'm going to select this center rectangle. This thickness is equal to 10 millimeters. Click OK. Then features extrude. This length is equal 150 millimeter. Click OK. Then these two edges should be fillet edges. So I am selecting these two edges and go to fillet. 50 millimeter fillet. Click OK. Then I am selecting these two edges also. Go to fillet. Fillet 50 millimeter fillet. Okay. So then I'm selecting this face to create the hole. This dimension is equal to 30 millimeter. Features extrude cut. Okay. So then here you can see this 1000 Newton load is applied in a selected area. This is the area. So we have to highlight this area when creating the model. Okay. Let's highlight this area. I'm selecting this face and go to sketch. Diameter of this area is equal to 60 millimeter. Okay. So then exit sketch, go to curves, split line. Then already the sketch has selected, so then we have to select the face where this sketch is projected. So then you can see this sketch is projected on this face and highlighted this area. Here you can see highlighted area. Okay, this is the model created. Okay, then let's move to the simulation. Let's create the new study. First of all, I'm going to get the result without any mesh controlling. Let's we can compare. I'm going to give the name as without mesh control. Okay, static structural. Okay, click OK. So then I'm going to select the material, the edit material. The material is equal to alloy steel. Alloy steel. Select the alloy steel. Okay. For this simulation, no any connections defined. So I'm going to go to fixtures to define the fixtures. So I'm selecting fixed geometry. Then this face is a fixed geometry, fixed face. Click OK. Okay. So then on this phase the load is acting, so then we are going to apply the load. Click on the force. The magnitude of the force is equal to 1000 Newton. The phase is okay. The direction also already selected. Click OK. Okay, then let's create the mesh. The create mesh. So I'm continuing with the default mesh. Uh, Here I'm selecting the curvature based mesh because adaptive mesh controlling enable only with the curvature based mesh and the standard mesh. Click OK. Here you can see the created mesh. So then let's run the simulation. Here you can see one measure stress develop is equal to 52 megapascal. Here you can see the stress concentration area. Let's show the uh, mesh also. You can see the mesh. Okay, this maximum value is equal 52 megapascal. Then I'm going to, you can see the stress are concentrated to this fillet edge. You can see in this area is a critical area. The more stress are concentrated to this area. So I'm going to improve the mesh density in this area using the manual mesh control methods. Let's see what is the results. Okay, first of all I'm going to copy this study. Copy study. Here, let's. I'm going to give the name as manual mesh control. Click OK. You can see this study has copied with the new name manual mesh control. For this area, this fillet area, I'm going to give. I'm going to increase the mesh density in this area. So right click, go to apply mesh control. For this area I'm going to give finer mesh, so I'm selecting let's take 1.5 millimeter the element size for these areas. Click OK. Okay, then let's run the result, run the study. Here you can see the results. Now this value is equal 54.8 megapascal. Earlier it is 50 megapascal. Now it is 54.8 megapascal. You can see that is developed somewhere in here. Okay, then let's go ahead with adaptive mesh controlling. So first of all I'm going to copy this study. I'm selecting the first study we did, then right click the copy study. So I'm going to give the H adaptive name as H adaptive. Click OK. Okay, first of all you have to right click and go to properties. Okay, select adaptive mesh control. So I'm selecting H adaptive mesh controlling. Here you can see the two adaptive mesh controlling, H adaptive mesh controlling and the P adaptive mesh controlling. The H adaptive mesh controlling we are going to use in this simulation. Under the H adaptive mesh controlling, you can see the target accuracy. Target accuracy measures the change in strain energy and stops iteration when the difference between the two adjacent result is less than the set value. If we set it to a 98% the iteration stops when the difference between the two adjacent result is less than the 2%. So I'm going to set it as 99. That is the maximum value. Then next you can see the accuracy bias. Moving the slider bar towards the local will instruct the solver to concentrate on getting accurate peak stress result using a fewer number of elements. It results to increase the mesh density in peak stress concentration areas. Moving this slider bar towards the global will instruct the solver to concentrate on getting overall accurate result. It results to increase the mesh density in all stress concentration areas. Then you can see, so I'm selecting a middle point. Here you can see then next we want to select the maximum number of loops. The maximum number of iteration loops sets the maximum number of solutions loops allowed when the study is run. The maximum number of loops that can be specified as maximum value as 5. Okay, I am selecting the 5. Here you can see the mesh coarsening. The mesh coarsening, this option is allows to solver to reduce the mesh density in areas that do not use high mesh density, especially in non-stress concentration areas. No need the higher mesh density. So the mesh coarsening, if you select this one, it automatically reduce the mesh density in non-stress concentration areas. Click OK. So then we are going to run the study. Click on run study. Okay, here you can see now the maximum stress is equal to 55.1 megapascal. Okay, you can view results obtained in each iteration by a graph. For that one, right click on results and go to define adaptive convergence graph. So I am selecting the one message stress, maximum one message stress, how this is vary in each iterations. I am going to observe. So click OK. Here you can see the graph. Here you can see in a first simulation it is closer to 52 megapascal. Then you can see in a second iteration that is increases to in between the 55 and 54, and last it reaches to around the 55. Here you can see the first simulation, second simulation, third simulation, fourth simulation, and fifth simulation results. Here you can see the global criterion, total relative strain energy norm. The error is less than 1.6%. So that means the results generated in the fourth iteration and the fifth iteration, the strain energy difference is less than 1.6%. Okay, this is how we are using H adaptive mesh control method to improve the accuracy of the finite element results. Okay, I think we all got a clear idea how to use H adaptive mesh control in SolidWorks. Okay, thank you. See you next time.